IHSA Football family, Week 9 games of the week. Here we go. All right, apologies again for Sunday. Was supposed to shoot a video, but I was out of it. I was sick as hell. Fun times, by the way. It's that time where everyone gets sick. Again, my name is Pierre Lambert, aka Coach Big Pete, publisher of Deep Dish Football. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. All right, let's get done with the reminders. First of all, as always, there is no Deep Dish Football playoff pairing show. There will be none this year. So make sure you check out NUIC Football, Kyle Campier's show. He does a wonderful job, 1A to 3A, 8-man football. Him and his group, the View from West podcast, the guys are there as well. He does a wonderful job. He puts together one hell of a show. Check it out. NUIC, I'm going to put the link when he puts the link up to watch it. They do a wonderful job. 1A to 3A, 8-man football, 2A. Check it out. Awesome job. But no Deep Dish Football playoff pairing show. And as always, the articles for the pairings are going to come out on Sunday. The article for Sunday conclusion, as always, for Week 9 comes out on Saturday about 6 p.m. after the last game is played as well. And again, just a quick reminder too, yearly awards will be out Sunday as well with the playoff pairing. The playoff pairing articles. Make sure, again, and I beg this of you people. I beg and plead with you people. Make sure I get those season stats. I'm right now over 30 season stats given for nominations for Player of the Year in the state of Illinois. Please send those season stats in. Email me at coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. And again, make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also, as always, new playoff broadcast schedule next week, starting next week. Deep Dish Football Live will be on Thursday with DuPage Run Shoot show on Thursday. And Breakfast with Coach Big Pete will be moved to Sunday at 9 a.m. Just a quick little warning. And again, send those stats after Friday night for nominations. It's going to be going quick and fast, as always is for Week 9. So just a quick reminder about that. Also, follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I said that before. I apologize. If you like the work, feel free to leave a tip /Remo or PayPal in the links below. You can also see the link on the video as well. Deep Dish Football Live today, this Wednesday at 6 p.m. DuPage Run Shoot Show. Make sure you follow DuPage Run Shoot Show on Twitter and Facebook. And with my co-host Patrick Codo, he does a wonderful job. Sports reporter for Naperville Community Access Television 17. Make sure you check it out. So, as always, we have Week 9. Again, we have some big undefeated games going against each other, two undefeated teams, but also we have teams that got to get that big win to get into the playoffs. We also have teams that also, again, want to end the season. They're not going to the playoffs, but they want to end the season on a positive note, especially new coaches, new coaching staffs that want to build on something. And that's the most important thing. And I say this to seniors as well that aren't going to the playoffs. Leave everything on the field. Every senior. Leave it all on the field. Please do that. That's the most important thing. And just remember this week. Have a fun time this whole week. Definitely. And trust me, there's a lot of players that don't leave it on the field and they come to regret it, and then they turn into fucking forum trolls and message board trolls. They turn out to be major league dipshits. So, and I apologize for the language. I'm going to be a little bit more unhinged these coming weeks. This is my last year as the publisher, and Deep Dish Football's last year as well. So this is going to be a fun time. It's going to piss off a lot of people, but guess what? It's got to be done. All right, so let's get to the games of the week for Week 9, shall we? For Thursday, and again, I see this as a huge game, Hillcrest versus Bremen. Again, Hillcrest is 6-2. Bremen needs this win. This is a much-needed win for Bremen. They've been on and off this season. We will see good rushing attack, but we'll see what happens. Again, they lost their star running back to transfer. And a lot of players have transferred to different schools. Lamont, another big-time game this Thursday, taking on TF North. TF North 7-1. Lamont 4-4. They have to win to get in. This is a must-win game for Lamont. We will see. A lot of people had Lamont doing a lot better, but it's been an on and off year, so we will see. Let's see. Addison Trail takes on Downers Grove South. Downers Grove South actually has their ticket punched already in the playoffs, even though they're 5-3. They already have their ticket punched. Addison Trail, again, unbelievable year. They're going to be in the playoffs. So again, this could be a rest game, but an interesting game is 6-2. Addison Trail takes on 5-3. Downers Grove South. And again, like I said, teams, you can lose week 8. But if for some reason teams that lose week 9, they have a tough time getting the engine started in the playoffs. So definitely a thing that you got to check out. There's some teams that evolve from that, especially only one-loss teams that lose in week 9. There's some games where you actually want to lose week 9, especially if you're undefeated. But again, this is going to be an interesting game. Downers Grove South, Deion Davis is an absolute star. Definitely a player to check out for. All right, let's go down some more. Ala takes on Sullivan, 8-0. The battle of two 8-0 teams. Ala's looking great. Again, they lost Keaton Fagan last year. They've done a wonderful job, but this is a big-time game with both teams being undefeated. Merrill Forsyth takes on Athens. Merrill Forsyth undefeated. And again, they're looking great in 2A. Overall, with Athens, they've had a wonderful year. Both teams have had great years, but I think Merrill Forsyth's going to get a little bit of the better of this game. But big shout out to both teams. They're going to be doing some damage in the playoffs. And that Athens team, from some reason, 2A is an absolute dark horse. I think they're going to upset a lot of teams, and it's going to be very interesting. I think Sangamo is going to be more and more like the NUIC in that 2A and 3A divisions. Batavia takes on Glenbar North. I think Batavia's got that one easily locked up. Bairdstown versus Calhoun. Calhoun 5-3. Bairdstown 4-4 again. Bairdstown's been another up and down team. We will see what Bairdstown team we get in that game. Bloomington takes on Decatur MacArthur. Decatur MacArthur 5-3. Decatur MacArthur needs they need a big time win in this one. Bloomington, another team that needs a big time win. Two teams, great season so far. A lot of people didn't expect a lot out of Bloomington, but they've proven everyone wrong. Definitely a game you got to check out. Bloomington Central Catholic takes on Prairie Central. Bloomington Central Catholic is undefeated, people. Again, Hayes, that offensive line is massive for such a small school team, private school team. It's very impressive what Bloomington Central Catholic's done. I think they can get to 9-0, and I think they can do a lot of damage in that 2A. I'll talk more about that Sunday. Let's go down some more. And as always, Loyola Academy, Mount Carmel? That's the big one. That's the one everyone's talking about. Overall, this is such a weird game. It's all. I don't even like it being on week 9. But overall, it's like it's a battle for the league championship, but the division championship. But again, you got a feeling in your head that whoever loses this game is going to win the state title. That's my personal thoughts about that. For Mount Carmel, they've been on fire. Loyola Academy, people thought that they were going to get to at least at this time about 2 losses, 1 loss, but they've been undefeated. It was a complete shocker with Loyola Academy, especially at some of the youthful spots that they have with the youth that they have. A lot of juniors and sophomores on those spots. But Fitzgerald for Loyola Academy has been an unbelievable quarterback. The big thing will be the defense. Both defenses. And for Mount Carmel, they've adapted and they've grown every week. That East St. Louis game was not a pretty game. That was not a pretty game for them. But they're getting better every week. And for me, I think one of the big things in this game is going to be the quarterbacks, and Jack Elliott of Mount Carmel and Fitzgerald of Loyola, and the secondaries. And again, can they force turnovers? And with with Fitzgerald overall, he's been smart with the ball, and so has Jack Elliott. So it's one of those up in the air games. So it's going to be a good game to keep an eye out for. Johnston City takes on Carmi White County. Johnston City lost to Cesar Valley. Cesar Valley wins the Black Diamond Conference Championship. You can say that unofficially, but officially. Carmi White County, can they get the big upset against Johnston City? We will see. It's going to be an interesting game overall. Sycamore versus Morris in the big battle. Morris has been on fire. And again, just like Mount Carmel and Loyola, it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be a weird game. A lot of people thought what Morris was going to do. They did. Sycamore was a little bit shocked because, again, we thought that they were in that Loyola position of 1 and 2 losses going into this last game of the season. Overall, Sycamore's passing attack has been on point. Their running game has been the most impressive. With Morris, just the seniority at their top positions, Carter Budden, Jacob Swartz, their wide receiver core. AJ Zwares is, by the way, one of the most underrated players in the state of Illinois for wide receiver for Morris. Again, this is a hell of a game. This is going to be a great game. But I can put more into whoever loses this game is probably most likely going to win the state title, and whoever wins this game is not going to win the state title. But this season's a weird season where I can say a lot of the private schools, there's a lot more weaknesses than there was last year. So this is a state title watcher right now, especially looking at both these teams, and when they get into the playoffs, they can do a lot of damage, no doubt about that. Casey Westfield versus Paris. Casey Westfield has been unbelievable. They lost their week 7 game, week 8 game. It was week 7 to Mount Carmel. They've been able to bounce back. They take on a tough Paris team. Definitely a game you got to check out. Let's go down some more. Chicago Christian Aurora. Christian loses a tough game to Wheaton Academy. Wasn't able to make the on-field changes in the second half. They lost to Wheaton Academy. Chicago Christian looks good, but I think the Aurora Christian team is going to get the better. Clifton Central takes on Salt Fork. Clifton Central 4-4. Salt Fork looking great. Definitely a game you check out. Collinsville versus Triad. Triad's passing attack unbelievable last week. Collinsville unbelievable taking out Cuyahoga. So definitely a big game you got to check out. Barrington's still undefeated. I think Barrington's going to be undefeated after that, week 9. I think they can get 9 wins. Let's see. DuPage versus Eltoff. What a game. Just absolute craziness. I can't believe this. And big shout out to NUIC football, that conference. Their non-conference games, they don't schedule cupcakes, and that's a great game. This is a precursor and a what's the word? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to again, I'm not an English professor, as you can tell. This is a thing of we have a better clarity of both conference of Eltoff's a non-conference. They're independent. A better deal of what the NUIC has. This is a big proving point for NUIC as they take on a tough Eltoff team. Demir Hill Jr. is having a hell of a season. So is that offensive line. We will see. And again, DuPage had a couple trouble with dealing with the run. We will see about that. East St. Louis gets the forfeit win there. Now it's 7-2 going into the playoffs, and they're ready to kick some ass. No doubt about that one. DuQuoin, Murfreesboro. Both teams undefeated in the Southern Illinois region. And again, DuQuoin. Wow. Absolutely astonishing season so far. Murfreesboro, we knew Abernathy, their wide receiver, he's a hell of a player. This is definitely a game you got to check out. Murfreesboro can do a lot of things, especially a couple of years ago when they made that big state title run. This is going to be definitely a game you got to check out for. Let's go down some more. West Chicago needs the big win to get into the playoffs. Definitely a thing to check out. Geneseo is going to bounce back with a win over Rock Island, but I think Rock Island's going to give them a fight. Glenbard East versus Bartlett. I think Glenbard East is going to get that W. Glenwood versus Lincoln. Um, Glenwood gave a battle to Rochester. No doubt about that. This is going to be an uphill battle for Lincoln. Keon Carson's got to be on top of his game. This is going to be a huge game for Keon Carson in that ground game, and that passing attack has got to open up against that Glenwood defense. But Coach Silky has done a wonderful job with these Lincoln Rail splitters, no doubt about that. Let's go down some more. Harrisburg versus Benton. Both teams 5-3. Harrisburg, again, impressive ground attack with Harrisburg. Benton's got to put a stop to that, and they got to open up the field against that Harrisburg defense. No doubt about that. All right. Greenville, I think they're going to get to 9-0. I don't think that's much of a surprise right there. Hersey versus Elk Grove. Hersey's going to get that. Hayworth versus Gibson City. Hayworth's in the playoffs after 20 years. I think it's like 20 or 30 years almost. So, and this definitely a battle of 6 and 2s. DGN takes on Hinsdale Central. I think DGN's going to get that W. I don't think that's much of a surprise. Homewood Flossmoor needs the big win over Lockport. That's a big battle right now. That's a big battle. Lincoln Way Central takes on Bradley Bourbonnais. Big game. Huge game for Coach Codo. Lincoln Way Central. They've had a great season so far. They have to keep climbing the rope. And overall, Bradley Bourbonnais, in Cole we trust. The quarterback, that wide receiver core, the ground game, it has to do some explosions. That offensive line, that especially with run protection. Sorry, they got to open up holes. That's going to be the most important thing for Bradley Bourbonnais. IC takes on Fenwick. IC got the big win last week. Fenwick 4-4. Can Fenwick get the big upset against IC? It's going to be tough, but this IC team, I think they're going to get the better of Fenwick, no doubt about that. Let's see, Lake Forest versus Mundelein. Battle 4-4 teams. Mundelein started off on fire, but they've sunk. So is Lake Forest. So it's just a battle. Knoxville versus Farmington. Knoxville, they got smacked up in NUIC country. They're taking on Farmington. That's bounced back after that tough loss. Definitely game. Kenwood versus Phillips. Again, Kenwood. You don't know what Kenwood team you're going to get. I mean, you'll get a better Kenwood team if you start saying that they're going to lose, and then they'll win. That's the joke. Phillips has had a wonderful season, absolutely tremendous season. Definitely a game you got to check out in Chicago. Crete-Monee versus Kankakee, that Southland Conference Championship game. Kankakee, unbelievable. 8-0. Coach Osi, wonderful job taking on Crete-Monee. 6-2, been able to bounce back. Their offensive line has been their strong point. Coach Konecki has done a wonderful job with the game plan this season. He finds the strengths in his team, and he has won big. Big shout out to Crete-Monee. Big shout out to Kankakee. Again, it's good. Crete-Monee is going to be a pain in the ass for a lot of teams. I'm telling you that right now. So definitely a thing you got to check out for. Wheaton North, Lake Park. Wheaton North looks good. Lake Park needs this win. It's going to be huge. This is going to be a big-time battle, but Wheaton North, they're going to be a lower seed, no doubt about that. And when they get into the playoffs, another team that could do a lot of damage and piss off a lot of other teams. Kalen takes on LaSalle Peru. Another interesting game against Troy Carlson. And that offensive line of Kalen taking on LaSalle Peru, they've been, again, on and off. West Chicago, like I just talked about before in the video, taking on the 3-5 Larkin team. They need this win to get into the playoffs. This is a big proving point game for Coach Chavez, so definitely a game you got to check out. Stevenson takes on Libertyville. Stevenson has their ticket punch for the playoffs. With Libertyville, what team are we going to get? Again, they've been on and off. Line takes on Willowbrook. I think Willowbrook's going to get that W right there easily. Uh, Mantino versus Coal City. I totally forgot about that game. Mantino 4-4. They got to get this win over a Coal City team. Can they get the upset win? They have to open up the field against this Coal City defense, and they have to get penetration on that offensive line. They have to put a stop to Landon Benson. That's going to be the most important thing. Mount Zion takes on Mater Day. I think Mater Day has done a wonderful job this season. Trenton Zeeb is a star quarterback. Mount Zion, the losses that they had, a lot of people didn't see coming. So overall, Mount Zion, again, Trimble, Anderson, their quarterback, I'm forgetting his name, star quarterback too. This is a much needed game. I think Mount Zion would need more if they won this game getting to the playoffs, because they've been on the cold streak a little bit. Metamora takes on Dunlap. Dunlap 6-2. Metamora 6-2. Overall, Dunlap. What Dunlap team are we going to get? They've been very cold. This is a much what they need to win this game, definitely, when they get into the playoffs. You want to get on to a little bit of a hot streak. Morrison, I talked about that game. Borden versus Washington. The Borden Potters 8-0. Washington 7-1. Washington's only loss they got was the Kankakee. And overall, the Borden Potters have done everything. They've done everything correctly. Very crisp. And overall, with the Potters, and I'm going to say this again, that ground game is going to be stifling when they get into the playoffs with Washington. Overall, we got to look at the defense. Their defense has proven very good against Kankakee, we saw from Kankakee and in the midweeks. Overall, I think the big thing would be Washington would profit more out of a win over Morton if Morton were to win against Washington. I don't want to go into the playoffs undefeated. I've said that numerous times. We've seen them any undefeated team as they get in. There's been undefeated teams that have won the state title, but they just fall flat on their face. Shelbyville takes on Nashville. Shelbyville 8-0 is always impressive. Nazareth, they need this one against the St. Francis team that's 6-2 that's already got their ticket punched into the playoffs. Nazareth needs this win bad. They need this win bad. And this is a program game, basically, for St. Francis. This is a much-needed game that they got to win against Nazareth Academy. Again, when you're looking into private schools, especially getting the players to come to your school, this will be a big proving win for them as they take on this Nazareth Academy squad. Naperville Central takes on Naquo Valley. Yeah, the DuPage Valley, that weird Week 9 conference, and Naperville Central's already got their ticket punch. But overall, I think Naperville Central is going to get that W against Naquo Valley. With Naperville North taking on Waubonsie Valley, can Waubonsie Valley get the big win over Naperville North after they suffered a tough loss last week? We will see. It does not help Naperville North that they're seeing their opponent that they played last week to this week again. So we will see. Let's go down some more. Deerfield needs the big one against New Trier. No doubt about that. Maine West 8-0. Big shout out to them, by the way. Let's go down some more. Plainfield North needs that big win over Yorkville. Yorkville's been on a hot streak right now. Plano 4-4. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Marengo got the big time upset last week against Iowa's Sandwich, if I'm not mistaken. The battle of 4-4 teams. Marengo, what team are we going to get? Plano, they were hot. Now they're just absolutely cold. Stifling cold. We'll see. That's going to be a big time game right there. Weathersfield takes on Princeville. I think Weathersfield's going to get that W. Going down. That's football. Bennett, Providence Catholic. Battles of we need to get into the playoffs bad. And if it's at Providence, I think you got to give a little bit of advantage to Providence. Quincy versus Mamahut Seymour. What a big game. Wow. Big school game, 7A. Taking on Mamahut Seymour was 7-1. Quincy has been on fire. They got the big win over General Seal last week. Again, there's not that much to prove. Quincy doesn't have to prove that much for week 9. And Mamahut Seymour is unbelievable right now. Overall, you got to give the slight advantage because of the size to Quincy. But Mamahut Seymour, they have had a passing attack that can keep up with this Quincy offense. So definitely a game you have to check out for. Let's go down some more. Richmond Burn takes on Rochelle. Richmond Burn 7-1. Rochelle 6-2. Definitely a game you got to check out for. Right. Let's go down. Sacred Heart Griffin versus Rochester. The Leonard-less, only one Leonard Bowl. Because Ken Leonard retired. Overall, Rochester 8-0. Sacred Heart Griffin 6-2, suffering that big loss to MacArthur. Can they bounce back and get the win? This is a much needed win. More, they need this win more. Sacred Heart Griffin than Rochester does, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And overall, that Rochester offensive line defense is stifling. Sacred Heart Griffin, their defense, MacArthur, second half. So we will see. It's going to be definitely a thing you got to check out for. Sandwich versus Woodstock North. Sandwich needs this win over a tough Woodstock North team. But what a great story about Sandwich. What an absolute great story about Sandwich. St. Charles North takes on Geneva. St. Charles North 6-2. Geneva 6-2. Again, a battle of what teams are we going to get. That's the most important thing. Two teams. The one loss was expected, but the second loss was like, what the hell? So, definitely a game you got to check out for. Juliet Catholic takes on St. Ignatius. St. Ignatius, some of their star players, they're not showing up. And with Juliet Catholic, it's been a great season. Munoz at quarterback, that offensive line, overall linebacker core of St. Juliet Catholic has done a wonderful job. St. Lawrence takes on Montini. Montini 5-3. St. Lawrence 6-2. Montini's 3A. When they get into 3A, damage, just the damage. St. Lawrence, unbelievable season. Aaron Ball has done a wonderful job at running back, so definitely a game you got to check out for. St. Rita versus Brother Rice. Brother Rice 4-4. Much needed win against a tough St. Rita team in that Southside rivalry. We'll see what happens there. St. Viator takes on Marmion. St. Viator needs this win bad. Let's go down some more. Bryan versus Stillman Valley. Again, Stillman Valley. Up, down, up, down. This year, what was mostly seen, Bryan has been unbelievable. Undefeated, kicking everyone's ass. They beat Dixon. I just don't see Stillman Valley getting that W against the tough Bryan team. Let's go down some more. Tolino Unity versus Monticello is always a big-time rivalry game. Eureka 5-3. Tri-Valley's got to stop that run game because Eureka's been running wild, especially from last week. Going down some more. Warren Township won to a forfeit from Zion Benton. And I think that's about it. Look, Simeon versus Morgan Park. Simeon, what team are we going to get? They didn't show up in week 1. They've been able to bounce back against weaker Chicago teams. They're taking on a tough Morgan Park team, and you got to give it your hats off to Morgan Park and overall what their ability to do. I totally forgot. In Chicago, Lincoln Park takes on Payton. Both teams undefeated. I forgot about that game. I apologize to all the fans in Chicago. Lincoln Park's been on fire. They're on fire right now. Payton, their schedule, Lincoln, on fire. Overall, the passing and ground game and defense has been stifling for Lincoln Park. Definitely a game you want to keep an eye out for. And that is it. Make sure you follow Coach Big P and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is CoachBigPete@fp@gmail.com. Make sure I get those season stats. Send them in. As you can tell, I'm still coughing. Fun times. And again, email is CoachBigPete@fp@gmail.com. Send me those stats. Week 9, it goes by fast. Starting season yearly awards on Sunday. I'm trying to think of anything else. If you like to work, feel free to leave a tip donation via Venmo, PayPal, link below. DuPage Run Shoot Show with me, my co-host Patrick Codo. Make sure you follow Patrick Codo and DuPage Run Shoot Show as we talk DuPage County football and a little bit of IHSA football as well on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for joining and enjoy the day. See you at Deep Dish Football Live, 6 p.m. tonight.